everybody. It's Brooke. I hope you're having a great day. I am zoomed pretty close in for me these days because I thought we would work on some more embellished paper clips. I had started one the other day when I was playing with Melissa. If you missed that video, it's super fun and it will be listed down below. So I had started making this one out of embroidery floss, and Melissa's phone rang and cut her off, so we just ended the video. But in that video, we made a cute little pom-pom paper clip, which I think is adorable. We made this little butterfly button paper clip with a dangle. Also so cute. And then this is like the one we're going to make today. Melissa made a fabulous ribbon tassel paper clip with a shank button on it. So we're going to make one like this today, and also another one if we have time. So stick around, grab your paper clips, and let's do it. Okay, you guys, did you get your paper clips? Awesome. What I have right here is, let's just get some of this stuff out of the way. I have a little piece of a priority box that I just cut down, and this is cut down to, let's see, 3 by 1.5, but you can make, depending on how tall you want your tassel, you can make it whatever height you want. And I just have some inexpensive Coats & Clark embroidery floss that I got from Walmart, neon colored. Let me see if I can. Do I have the package? I bet I do. Hold on. This is what it looks like. This is how it comes. And I don't have the topper anymore, but there are at least 20 skeins in here, and it's all neon colors. The glare is terrible, but I thought this was so fun. So I grabbed out 2 of them, and you can make a lot of paper clips with that much embroidery floss. I've got neon orange, neon yellow, and I just took the ends of both skeins. It's all tangled up now because I wadded it up to put it away. Just took the ends and got them to be even. Okay, and then I just put it on my card, put my finger on it to hold it. Oop. And again, Melissa and I were talking about the fact that, yeah, this is a little fiddly, but pretty much everything you do in crafting is a little fiddly. So I just kept wrapping both skeins at the same time until I got to this point. Okay, so I just kept going. This is the end that we started with, and this is the end that we ended with, and I just cut the 2 pieces off. So here we are. I have a large-eyed needle. You guys see that? I keep it in a piece of felt, so number 1, I don't lose it, but number 2, to keep it from getting rusty. Can you see how big that eye is? Pretty good size. And I'm just going to take a little piece of this. This is just going to be pretty much a scrap. Not much at all. 6 inches maybe? And as usual, I'm probably being overly generous because I'd really rather have too much than not enough. And yes, I just licked my thread. Can you imagine? It's disgusting, but old habits and all. Okay, I got all 6 strands of the embroidery floss through nice and easily, and I'm going to take my needle and slide it underneath all of those strands. Make sure we catch them all. Try not to split any of them. And I'm just peeking in there. Can you see where it's coming up? It's coming up through those guys. Not piercing anything, and I can see that it's caught all of them. Okay, so I pulled the needle out. Let's put it back in there just to be safe, because that is really sharp. I don't want to find that one with my foot. And now what I'm doing is I'm going to go down here to the bottom. I've got my 2 pieces. And I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Double knot, triple knot, whatever you like. Oh, trying to keep the brown side up because the camera is not crazy about the white side. And it's kind of doing its own thing. And we'll just put one more in for fun, just for good measure. Okay, then we're gonna, well, you can kind of, she says, you can kind of bend your cardboard a little bit, and that'll help you get this to slide off, theoretically. Okay, well, it will, I swear. There we go. Wasn't being foldy enough. So we'll set that aside, and we've got our knot that we tied right there. Okay, and I did not tie that tight enough. Did not get it. I'm going to see if I can get it to tighten up. I don't know if I can. No, I don't think I can. So we'll make do. So can you see how it's loose? The knot is all the way over here. That's not holding that tightly at all. But we're about to put our paper clip on, so that should help. Now I've got this tangled up. I've got this paper clip that is standard 2 inches high, but it's fat. How fat is it, you ask? It's almost an inch. And I'm just using this today because it's easier for you to see, and it's a little easier for me to handle while I'm trying to record. And as a tip for playing with paper clips, always make sure that you're decorating on the single loop end. The double loop is what goes over your paper, and if you put your embellishment up here, you're not going to be able to get it onto your paper or your journal or whatever you're doing with it. So that's tip number 1. Second tip that Melissa laughed at me, but honestly, if you're doing anything like this, please do not use your glue gun. Use Fabri-Tac. I just opened the paper clip a little, and I'm going to slide it in here. Use Fabri-Tac and art glitter glue, E6000, anything but hot glue. First of all, you're looking for a burn with these small items. And secondly, glue guns are not permanent. They're just not. They become brittle with time. If you're storing something in a hot place, it's going to soften up again. If it's in a cold place, it will freeze and crack. It's not a great idea. So I know it's convenient because they're fast. I'm just trying to find both ends of our little knot there. Got the knotted area over the bottom of the paper clip. I'm going to cut these ends off because they're just in the way. You know, Timmy scissors, not as sharp as they used to be. Let's see if we get out our tiny ones. Are they more? We'll find out if those are a little tighter, or a little sharper rather. Okay, so I'm keeping the place where our knot is right over the bottom of the paper clip. And I think, should we do the tie in yellow or orange? I think there's more orange in there than yellow, or it just shows up more. So let's do our tie part in yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, I was going to put our thread down, and this is still attached to the skein. So we've got that, and I'm trying to work that thread up so it's going to hold our looped pieces in place. And I'm going to tie a single knot. I'm going to come back and tie some more. But at the moment, we're doing our single knot. And I'm going to grab my Fabri-Tac. My new bottle of Fabri-Tac, which is so fabulously fun. And just go in, spread apart the loops, find where our little tassel is. And there's our paper clip and our tassel bits. Can you even see this? I'm just going in and getting some Fabri-Tac on the paper clip, along the bottom of the paper clip or the top of the paper clip, depending on how you look at it. Let me put the lid back on my Fabri-Tac so we don't have a mess. And then I'll pull this tight again. So it was kind of, this piece was kind of just holding our pieces in place while we while we got the Fabri-Tac in there. And I'm straightening up our little tassel. Got a lot of ends. That must be the end where we cut it. And I've Fabri-Tac'd myself to it. That's a problem. All right, let's try that again. Tightening up our knot. Double knot. Now we can trim this piece off. And we'll worry about all those. No, these aren't any sharper. Good grief. There we go. We got it. We'll take care of these little frayed ends when we shape up our paper clip. Pulling everything to make sure it's nice and snug up against the clip down in here. And we can go ahead and take out this piece that we knotted originally. Make sure not to cut anything else. Just cutting this one. Get those pieces out of the way. There we go. All right, now we're going to make the part that's like the little collar that keeps the whole thing together. And we'll wrap. These are the parts that... Now I'm going to leave those pieces down because I want to cut them off. They're going to be a lot shorter than the rest of the tassel. So we just keep wrapping and wrapping this. I've got my beading mat down and I keep knocking it. Sorry. Wrapping. Now, if you were using a more standard paper clip, you might not want quite as much embroidery floss as I have here, but I like this much. Okay, so now I'm going to... keeps getting more and more tangled. Just cut off. It's probably too much again, but okay. If you hold the embroidery floss tight, the scissors seem to do a better job. I'm going to grab my needle again. Lick my thread again, yep. Got all 6 strands threaded on there. Pull all this extra stuff out of the way. And this again, this is the piece that we have been wrapping around to make like this neck wrap. And I've got this really pretty bead with a shank on it. Whoop. The shank is that little part in the back where the hole is. And I'm just going to feed this through. Because we want the button on the front. I actually might also put just a little dab of Fabri-Tac on that so that it doesn't flop around. So I'm going to put a little Fabri-Tac behind it, just a dot. Hopefully you guys can see that. I think I'm zoomed in enough. And I'm going to push that down, give it a second to catch. And then we'll do a couple more wraps. I'm going to go through the button, or not the button, the bead. So I'm wrapping around and going back through the bead to give it some stability, make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Oh, that's so cute. You guys, I can't even stand it. Almost unthreaded my needle. Look how adorable that looks. And we've got all kinds of fuzzy pieces, but we're going to take care of that in just a minute. But I love how our bead looks. And then I'm just going to take my needle, stick it through the knot. Well, the neck piece, not the knot. Do that again. Come back towards the center. Instead of going all the way through, I'm going to come up in the middle. Can you see? I didn't go all the way through. I came up in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to push that through. And we've got a loop right here. I'm going to run my needle through the loop. So effectively, we're making a knot. Pull it down. I didn't pull it all the way, but I'm going to put it through again to make a double knot. There's a double knot. And then what I'll do is just go ahead and feed this back through the knot and up into the tassel. Try not to split any threads here. And then it just integrates into the tassel so you won't even know you had a knot. Pull it, bury it. None of that is going anywhere. Yep, the Fabri-Tac is grabbing. So then we'll put our needle away. And start trimming this up. So I think the first thing I want to do we've been messing with it. Just using the handle of my tweezers to get all those those loops lined up. I don't know if they are, but it's okay if they're not. We can go back and fix it. Now we're going to need bigger scissors. So I've got all the loops lined up. Get our bigger scissors, see if these will do it. Go right in on those loops and give it a little snip. And then pull. These are the extra pieces that were too long. This is one of the pieces that we started the wrap on the cardboard, and it got loose. Usually you can catch it in your tassel, but that one didn't. It went crazy. So then tighten it, and you can go in and just give it a little snip. Get all those ends as even as you would like them. You can make it considerably shorter if you'd like. You could just nip off enough of the thread to kind of straighten it out, whatever you like. And if you hold it between your fingers like this, like pinch it, you can see which pieces are not being like the others. That one doesn't want to cut at all. Come on, you. I've now tried all of my Tim Holtz scissors. None of them seem to like embroidery floss that much. And I futz around for a while. But you can just leave it however you want. And look at that. Is that... nope, I can't stand it. I'll have to get my fabric scissors out. But there you go. There is your big fluffy tassel with a beaded button on it. Not a beaded button, a bead with a shank. There we go. A bead with a shank. Isn't that so cute? You can also do, this is one of the samples I made. You can do it like this, and this little balloon dog is a charm. And instead of using the shank to wrap the embroidery floss through, I just went through the jump ring that was on the charm. And that way he kind of moves around. He's cute. So that is how you can make a beaded tassel on a paper clip. And again, you can do it on any size paper clip. It might be a little dicey on the standard 1-inch paper clip. Yeah, it's an inch, right? The 2-inch ones, like jumbo ones that you just get at the office supply store, think I've got one right here. Like this one. That one or bigger should be just fine. And if you're really patient, you could probably manage to do it on the smaller paper clip. I just don't know if I would have the patience. But just keep in mind, you need to make sure you're going up to the single loop, not to the double loop. Okay, so there's that. And I think we have time to do one more. If you guys will hold on, I'll clean this up and I'll come right back and we'll do our other beaded one. Oop, camera, there we go. Hold on, I'll be right back. I made it back. Did you? Okay, this time I have, again, another little bead. This one is from a strand from Hobby Lobby, you know, the strung beads. And again, you need a bead whose hole is horizontal. So if this was directional, you would need to make sure that the hole would run parallel to the top of your paper clip because it's going to sit up here like this. Hopefully that makes sense. So I pulled out, probably if it doesn't, when I start doing this, you'll see what I mean. This particular strand of beads came with all these little crystals as spacers. And so I picked out 2 light blue, 2 white, and 2 red. Apparently I'm still in the 4th of July mode. There you go. Got a bead with, again, got the wider paper clip, and I have this colored copper wire that I think is 24 gauge. I've had it for so long, and between 22 and 24 gauge, I have a hard time telling the difference sometimes. So it's 22 or 24. Maybe it's 22. I would buy that. So I'm just taking some off and I'm smoothing it with my fingers, trying to get any kinks out. And this is, again, I would rather have too much than not enough. So this is about 11 inches. I'm sure 10 would be sufficient. Got my wire cutter. Whoops, my wire cutters. I've got little pieces of yellow and orange string from where we did our tassel trimming. And I'm just, again, I'm at the top loop, not the double bottom loop. I'm at the single one. And I'm taking that wire because I'm right-handed. I am going to, let's see if you can see this. I am just going to wrap that around. It's very soft wire, very easy to do with your fingers. You can worry about tightening it up when you're done wrapping it. So I just kind of wrap it, making sure to get tight around. I'm sorry, I keep going away from the camera. Making sure to get tight around the paper clip, but not worrying so much about having them right next to each other. So I've got 5 wraps there. Maybe we'll do one more. Do one more. My nails are too long for this. And you want to pull it so it's pretty taut. Don't pull this end real hard because you'll just pull the whole thing off. Okay, ask me how I know. Then I'm going to take my fingernails and just squash all those pieces together. You can use pliers if you'd rather. Do I have pliers here? I have my cutters. Hold on, let me get my pliers. They're right behind me. Flat nose pliers. And you can use these to just grab all those coils and scoot them together. I forgot these flat nose pliers are broken and I don't like them. They pinch my finger. All right, so I've got those all coiled up. We'll take this little end piece. Again, a little fiddly, but it's really fun. And the combinations you can come up with are absolutely endless. So we've got that on there. Take my pliers. Just make sure that last tiny little piece of wire is smashed down so nobody gets poked. Okay. So we've got 6 wraps. Now we've got our wire. And I'm going to do a light blue crystal. These are really tiny, you guys. I'm going to try to do a light blue crystal if I could find the hole. Oh, is that it? It is it. Yay. And then maybe a red one. You could use seed beads for this part as well, or not any beads, whatever you'd like. Since the wire is colored, you don't really have to cover it up if you don't want to. Boy, it's hard to see the holes. Sorry, guys. There's the clear one. I'll go ahead and run those down. So we have those. And you could just make a loop. You know, you could put more of the crystals on and make a loop like that. Well, probably shaped better, but make a loop of crystals and then do your 6 wraps again. And you'd have that beautiful loop sticking up. Oh, sticking up over the top of your paper clip. But I'm going to attempt to put this pretty blue bead on here. A little easier to see that hole. Good grief. And my beading mat is driving me mad because I keep shifting it. Sorry. Okay, so our flower hopefully is going to sit right on top like that. Get our other beads on. And again, this is another fiddly one. I think I might have just said that. I've made this a couple times because there's been so much noise outside. Oh, goodness. Tuesday afternoon. Doesn't seem like it should be that busy on my street, but all kinds of hollering and yelling kids. Guess burning it off before school starts, right? Oh, where'd you go? I just flung off our light blue one. And I heard it roll. Oh, and I even found it. It's a miracle. So we just have to thread it again. Have to find the hole again. Hold it in my left hand. Put my wire through. And I'm going to go ahead, what I'm doing, you can't see because of my big thumb. What I'm going to do is just pull it so it's snug and not worry too much about the shape of the wire and the flower and all that right now. I'm just going to pull it so it's snug and do our wraps. And then when we're done, because the wire is so soft, we can go ahead and shape it the way we would like to. So once again, I'm just going through here, holding these fingers in place with my left hand. Holding these fingers. How about holding these beads with my fingers? And there's 2. And there's 3. Gonna go ahead and dekink this again. Just running my fingers through it. Your fingers help warm it up. They also make something called nylon jaw pliers for jewelers, and you can use those to straighten out your wire as well. Heavier gauge wire, it's a good idea to have those, but with this craft wire, it's just fine. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's 5. Is that 5? No, that is 6. I thought I miscounted. Okay. And then you just kind of mess with it to make it sit the way you like. Now, if you don't like your bead moving, don't put so many beads. Oh, I'm out of frame again. Man, when am I going to get this figured out? This whole camera situation. Nipping that off. I'll finish my thought in just a second. Just going to try to tighten up these wires. These beads are glass, so be careful not to squeeze them because they'll just break. They'll just be done. And that's kind of frustrating because then you have a gap in your wire. There we go. Okay, so we've got both sides even and straightened up. And we can straighten it like that. And again, if you don't care for your bead moving, you could put some E6000 on the wire or Fabri-Tac or whatever, and then push the bead back in place and let it dry and it won't move. Or you could just not put so many beads on the side so that the base of the bead is closer to the paper clip. But I think this one looks adorable. You guys see that? Love it. So there you go, a wire embellished paper clip. Use up your wire, use up your beads, have some fun with paper clips. And I've been blathering on forever now, so I guess that'll do it. I want to thank you for stopping by. And if you like what you saw, think about subscribing. Come and join my Facebook group. I'll link it right up there. And you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.